bear with us as we get through some housekeeping matters. I have provided copies already to the applicant and to Ms. Camp and to Thompson and others of Board Exhibit 26, which we're marking this evening, which is the Willistown Township Resolution 11 of 2017, dated February 27th, 2017, that expresses concerns of the township relative to the conditional use application. So that's the first matter to get through this evening. The second I'd like to go through with the applicant is relative to the numerous requests we had for party status last month. There were a number of parties that were objected to, the bulk of which were not, but some that were, and some that were conditionally objected to. The first being Westminster Presbyterian Church. The church has since provided a resolution to the applicant. Mr. Edelman, are you okay then with that paperwork to admit them as a party?
Yes, I am.
Same situation for the Quarry Swimming Association, which handed up a letter this evening authorizing Christopher Ferrio to represent the association at the hearing. Are you okay with the Swimming Association now becoming a party?
Yes, we are.
Additionally, West Glen HOA, Mr. Bevilacqua handed up a resolution from the HOA this evening. Any objection to their being a party?
No objection.
There is a resolution that was provided today by Gary Bevilacqua as well for the Westchester Area School District, authorizing Mr. Bevilacqua or Mr. Scanlon to appear on their behalf. Any objection to the school district being a party?
No objection.
Thank you. There was an objection conditional last time we were here for Neighbors for Crebilly. I believe Mr. Thompson has provided additional information to the applicant. Is there any objection to Neighbors for Crebilly at this point becoming a party?
Not on the basis of what was supplied.
Thank you. All right, that leaves a number of parties that were objected to from the last hearing that are not stipulated to at this point. The board has asked me to make a motion on their behalf relative to those individuals. The first for the board's consideration is a motion tonight to deny party status for the following that requested it: Pennsbury Township, Patrick McDonough, William Worth, Stacy Walmsley, and Sally Hammerman. Is there anyone on the board that would like to make that motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The board has asked me to make another motion relative to additional party status requests. They've asked me to make a motion to permit party status for the following: Westtown Township Planning Commission, Mr. Jim Cahill, and Megan Bruns. Is there anyone on the board that would like to make that motion?
So moved.
Seconded? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So that is the party status issues from last month. Between the time of the hearing last month and this evening, some additional communication was received by the township relative to party status. I want to see if those individuals are here this evening. The first is Carol Weller. Is Miss Weller here? 1150 Lake Drive. Okay, not hearing it, I'm going to move on from that one. About anyone for the Arborview HOA? We received an email from Michelle Barbican. Yes, ma'am. Can you come forward, please? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Pingar has just handed me a party request form for the Arborview Homeowners Association, and it appears to be appointing William Hoffman. Is Mr. Hoffman here? Let me share this with the applicant real quick. Mr. Hoffman, do you have a title or position with the HOA?
I
HOA appointing you or Mr. Hoffman?
Ms. Hoffman, was the authorization, the letter that you submitted, done pursuant to a board meeting? Okay. Do we have some type of confirmation of the board meeting at which it was done? It just looks like it was just a regular letter as opposed to a formal resolution, so to speak, voted on by the board. Yes, that's it. That's right. Great, thank you. Totally fine. Understood.
Mr. Edelman, then safe to assume conditional approval upon getting further documentation from the HOA?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Patricia and Dennis McFadden, are either of the McFaddens here by any chance? Good evening. Mr. Edelman, the McFaddens had sent us an email. Did you fill out a party status form by any chance? Okay. It's included in that packet as well? They reside at 1010 General Green Drive. Mr. Edelman, any objection to the McFaddens being a party?
I don't have any objection based on the location of the property.
Thank you. You'll be admitted as a party. Matthew and Linda Reichert. Are the Reicherts here this evening? I'm not seeing the Reicherts. Jennifer and Edmund Stafford, 951 South New Street. Are the Staffords here? The Staffords do not appear to be here. Give me one moment, please. Mr. Edelman, I didn't ask, but is there any stipulation as to the Wellers, Stafford, or Reichert?
Well, no, I mean, they're not present to testify this evening, so we would object on it at this time. And I did note that the Stafford's property, I think, was even in there. Yeah, I'm sorry, this microphone's a little sensitive. I might have to stick it up to my lips, but I wasn't planning on that. The Staffords, I believe, are located 4/5 of a mile away, so I definitely would object on their basis. That in their actual form requesting party status, they stated that. So based on proximity, I would certainly object to the Staffords being granted party status as not being close enough to the property. With respect to the other parties, they're not here to enter their appearance, so I can't ask them any questions. So I'd object at this time based on that. And Pat, just for the record, again, I would note my objection as to continual party status requests, even though the hearing has started and the record has been open.
Understood. We did have some people recently come in and want to make sure. Is Carol Weller here, Jennifer Stafford, or Linda or Matt Reichert? I'm sorry, sir, your name? Matt Reichert. Okay. Mr. Reichert, Mr. Edelman may have some questions for you. Mr. Reichert lives on West Pleasant Grove Road.
301-705. We also have a lot to sell the previous property.
And he did submit a party status form. Right?
Right, I don't have any objection based on the location of their property and that they're here to enter their appearance this evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Reichert, you'll be admitted as a party.
Thank you.
Is Carol Weller here, or Edmund or Jennifer Stafford? As to the Wellers and the Staffords, then, does the board want to make a motion one way or the other
So I would motion to deny both applicants.
for party status?
Yes.
Is there a second? Any discussion?
I would prefer to wait to find out and identify what the situation is, given that the Willers are very close on Lake Drive and the Staffords are on Southeast Street. But if my board's opposed to that,
Well, and according to Ms. Weller's email, she was also a member of the Neighbors for Crebilly group. She was concerned the Neighbors for Crebilly would not receive party status and was doing this as a backup, correct?
okay, then I'm fine with that one. Is that true for Stafford as well?
No. I apologize, we only have 2 microphones, so we're going to do the best we can. No, it is not true for Stafford.
Question is, can we deny, oh my.
We have a motion to deny the vote on the
Yeah,
table.
I wanna-
You have first and second, that's fine, I've done my comment, you can go ahead.
I wanted to know if they were, the question is, since they're, the one is part of the party status of the Neighbors for Crebilly, they're automatic then, so they're not, we're denying individual. That was my question.
Yes, that is correct. So the motion's been made and seconded to deny party status to Weller and Stafford. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call a vote. All right, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Ms. Weller, welcome. All right, so let's go back a second. Thank you for speaking up. I appreciate that. So, we almost got through that. Mr. Edelman, coming back to Ms. Weller. She lives on Lake Drive, which I will note is in very close proximity to the property. Ma'am, have you filled out a party status form as part of the Neighbors for Crebilly application?
Yes, I did. And I also wrote a letter to Chris Patriarch.
And that's what I'm referring to. Mr. Edelman, based on that, any objection to Ms. Weller since she's here this evening?
I have no objection based on the location of her property.
Is the board okay amending their motion then to permit Ms. Weller to be a party?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? All right, Ms. Weller, you'll be admitted as a party. Last call on the Staffords then. Any of the Staffords here this evening? All right, to confirm for the record then, is the board in agreement to deny the Staffords the party request as you've already voted?
Yes.
All right. So, anything further, Mr. Edelman, from a housekeeping status?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, yes, would you like the microphone?
No, I don't think I need it. I would just like the record to note my objection to the board's denial of temporary county request for party status. And I would also request, I sent to you, Mr. McKenna, a copy of the Pennsbury Township Resolution 2017-03-15-1, which I copied to Mr. Edelman. And I would request that we call the record as a board exhibit. It's similar in some respects to Willis County.
Mr. Edelman, do you have any objections to that becoming a board exhibit?
So long as none of the statements in there are offered for the truth or accepted by the board for basis of any decision, I don't have any objection.
I didn't hear you object to Willis County resolution on that basis.
I haven't gotten there, it hasn't been offered.
Nothing's been offered yet.
That's correct. He just asked me, so I had to answer. But at the end, when the board will offer for moving its exhibits into the record, I will be objecting to such resolutions, Mr. Estes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't treat them any differently.
All right, having spoken with the board, we will admit the Pensbury resolution. That'll be Board Exhibit 27. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to apologize. We only have 2 microphones here this evening, so we're going to do the best that we can to pass the microphones back and forth. I'm going to ask for your patience. Mr. Edelman, I'm going to remind you to get right up into that microphone as much as you can as well. Last time we were here, the applicant provided the testimony of 2 witnesses, Emily Stewart and Jeff Madden. We got through the direct examination of those 2 witnesses. We held off on any cross-examination of those witnesses, A, due to time constraints, and B, to resolve the party status requests, which have now been completed. So unless there's anything further, Mr. Edelman, I would suggest that we go through our list of parties, maybe have Ms. Stewart go first, and we'll start the cross-examination.
That's acceptable. Emily, if you could come and take the stand and take the mic, please.
And I'm going to turn the microphone over to the audience, and I'm going to try to keep my list, and we're going to go in the order that we have our list.
So I'm going to talk as loud as I can. I have a list of everyone that has been granted party status, and we're going to simply go down that list in the order that we have them. If you're here this evening, you'll be given the opportunity to ask questions of the witness. I want to stress that this is the time to ask questions for the members of the public who are granted party status. This is not an opportunity to give your opinion or to make public comment. It is to ask questions based upon the testimony that the witness presented the last time. If I call your name, please let me know if you'd like to ask the question. You do not have to do so. Do not feel compelled to do so, but you have the right to do so. So we're going to start first with the West Township Planning Commission, Ms. Camp.
Thank you. Good evening, Ms. Stewart. Good evening. How are you? The only client that you do work for is Toll Brothers, is that correct?
Correct.
And for the last 16 years, your work as a land planner has been limited to work for Toll Brothers and entities affiliated with Toll Brothers, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you were responsible for the layout of the development on the conditional use plan, which has been marked Exhibit A3.
Yes.
Were you involved in preparation of sketch plans that were presented by Toll Brothers to the township in the summer of 2016?
Yes.
And in those sketch plans, didn't Toll propose to provide a connector road as contemplated by the township's comprehensive plan?
What was the question? Sorry.
In those sketch plans that Toll presented to the township in the summer of 2016, isn't it true that those plans contemplated a connector road through the development?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the approved land development plans for the Orvis tract, which is located to the north and west of the Crebilly farm?
No, I'm not.
Are you familiar with the prior approved concept plan for the Bizzuto apartment development, which provided a connector road through the Crebilly tract?
Generally familiar.
And why has the connector road been eliminated on the plan that's been marked Exhibit A3, if you know?
Based on traffic information provided by our consultant, it did not appear to provide any significant improvement to the intersection of Street Road and Wilmington Pike.
You reviewed the township zoning ordinance prior to submitting the conditional use application and plans, did you not?
Yes.
And are you familiar with